It is Thursday, June 25th. It is time to get in the weeds. I'm Jeremy Lambert. That is SP3. And SP3, I'd ask you how you're doing, but I don't care. No, I'm kidding. We have a guest immediately today. He was privy there to our intro. It's always very fun when other people see that intro and I can watch them backstage to see what their thoughts are as that thing runs. You know him from Jersey Championship Wrestling. He's a co-owner of JCW. He is now running Produce Wrestling, along with a million other ventures that he has. He's Orange Crush on social media. He's Adam Abdallah. Adam, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm hanging in there despite all that's going on. And after seeing your intro, I regret that I'm not in my mustache variant currently because
Yeah, we can add you to it.
Yeah,
it exists. I had it at WrestleMania.
Yeah, we'll have to update the intro and add everything, add you to all of that. Adam, tell us just more about Produce Wrestling. I know you were doing. Are you still doing JCW?
I still own half of JCW, but I'm
Okay.
no longer booking JCW.
Okay.
Brett's handling that now with a little bit of help with Speedball Mike Bailey as well. So Produce is it's my baby. It's the first time I've wholly owned a wrestling promotion. The first show that I actually fully booked myself and produced myself was Superpower Slam back in February in New York City, which was a benefit show for the Little Oaks Center for Neurodiversity, which is an autism charity. Working with Brett over the last 5 years, I had a lot of great experience putting together all sorts of shows and scouting the best independent international talent from around the world. But simultaneously, what a lot of people know me from are the fact that I put together a number of books around the convergence of the arts and professional wrestling since 2020. I'm also been tapped to curate the first museum show about art and professional wrestling in 2027 in Florida. So I started thinking about models of presentation that were very effective in other forms of the arts, where, whether it's the exhibition model where you have guest curators come in and help bring their vision for a particular art form or a particular form of entertainment to life, or even the SNL model where you have guest hosts and musical guests. And just thinking about how you can present professional wrestling in a way that is still true to the audience, that doesn't use wrestling as a pastiche, but does give the talent primacy. It makes the talent center. It makes you think hard about the labor that goes into wrestling, about the creativity that goes into wrestling, the different styles. And really, my ultimate goal in doing this and a lot of the stuff I'm doing now is I really want to shift the dialogue about wrestling back to the wrestling. When I was growing up, when I was tape trading, the things that we talked about were how great the fucking I can curse on here, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. How great the matches were and how interesting the storylines were from around the world. Yes, there was a certain dialogue online about the business aspects and ratings, and anybody who kind of was worth their salt as a smark back in the day would have an Observer subscription and was privy to all that stuff. But it wasn't a bunch of people who kind of barely read what was going on, fighting about numbers and ratings and attendance and having being a pissing contest. People cared about the actual quality of wrestling, and it was the argument was who was better than who, or what the best match was, or what the worst match was, what the funniest match was. I want to get the conversation back on the outsized effort that this talent makes in the ring. And so with Produce, I really thought it was important to center the talent, and that's why with our first show, every show is going to be co-produced by a professional wrestler or historic wrestling figure that I think is influential, that I think has a unique perspective, and can help me identify new talent from around the world that may not be getting the recognition they deserve or may be interesting to showcase in a new market, or shine a light on a different style that maybe isn't as popular anymore or is regional. So it's really kind of bringing wrestling back to its roots, I would say, in the modern era, in terms of how people should watch and appreciate it, really giving a lot of creative leniency to the talent inside the ring, and then using a lot of experimental kind of methods and working with different artists, videographers, graphic designers to bring like kind of a level of aesthetic to wrestling that often it isn't lended, because I think in my experience wrestlers are extremely passionate about their presentation, about their gimmick, about their storyline, about their craft, about what they wear, about the art that supports them. But often the structures that have supported them have been very corporate, and like I think it's short sold the audience in terms of like what they deserve. My perspective is that wrestling fans deserve nice things, and I want to give them to them.
You recently were produce made a partnership with my AEW. Kind of tell us what went behind that decision to kind of be one of the first independent promotions on the platform.
Well, it was a no-brainer. I mean, first of all, I talked about this a little bit yesterday with Brian Alvarez too. Like, I work in media. I own a PR and marketing agency. I also produce movies. I produce stage shows, and I think there has been a kind of serious trend in how sports and wrestling are presented, where like wrestling fans have been sold short, for all the things that, I don't want to even be quoted as saying anything about them, honestly, but like, for all of WWE's historical shortcomings, prior to TKO taking over, the people in charge still, whether it was because they had aspirations to be seen as classy, or they really held the ring itself to be something sacred. Like, you wouldn't see logos on the ring. You wouldn't see Slim Jim logos on a table. You wouldn't see the Prime bottle at ringside. The presentation of professional wrestling was really centered around the idea of suspending disbelief, right? And making you think you were in, kind of a unique world that didn't, was either, because like some of these things, like sports are like based in reality. So there's the realities of these economies. But professional wrestling in certain contexts are just kind of, clean and in their own space. And when you start to make people think about wrestling as simply a vehicle to, make money, and at the same time talk about, also expose the fact that, oh, it's not real, like we have a show on Netflix talking about how, this is all a show, it's all part of the show, and the story is how the show gets made, and how the show gets made is that we put on 50 fucking commercials and, have you thinking about Slim Jims while you're watching like two guys try to kill each other in the ring. I mean, I'll tell you what, I went to wrestle, and this is one of the reasons that I've been real fired up about produce. Like, I went to WrestleMania, which I often do, despite maybe having philosophical misgivings about TKO. But I love wrestling, so I'm going to pay for my, to support my subculture and go and participate. And I bought a booth from the Raiders the last 2 years in Vegas instead of directly from TKO, which is ironic because I think Ari and Josh are now owners in the Raiders since then. And I paid, it's actually less than people were paying in the upper deck. I paid 10 grand for 4 seats for 2 days in a luxury booth from the Raiders, which averages out to about like $1,200 a ticket. I think they were probably selling upper deck seats in Vegas for about that much. So it was a good deal. But me sitting in that $10,000 booth for 2 days, I had to stare at a fucking giant ad, Snickers bar, that they were trying to sell me for $1 for 2 days with commercials every 5 minutes. If you go to the Super Bowl, if you go to a baseball game, they don't play the audio of the commercials that are happening while you're watching the show during the show. Like, they respect the audience. And I think there's just been this trend when it comes to streaming and sports rights and marketing. It's like to try to make as much money as possible to pay down debts and rights fees and things like that. And the actual paying audience, I know this is a long way of getting to this my AEW question. The actual paying audience has been devalued. I've had media executives tell me, they're like, yeah, we've come to find in recent years, like the audience actually isn't that valuable, which is like code word for saying like we can put on whatever we want. We can put as many commercials as we want and we won't lose anybody because we're not really asking people to pay anymore. So for me, I was like, I want an audience that has intentionality, that wants to watch, that is serious about supporting independent wrestling, that understands the economy of wrestling and like what goes into it, and the guys that are killing themselves to like put on this art form. So when Chris came to me with the opportunity, Chris Harrington from AEW, to put my shows on my AEW, I was in the kind of process of developing my own network at that point too, which I still might do at some point. I was like, yeah, that's like, it's a no-brainer because, the one thing you could say about AEW, if you look at the numbers, is that about 20 to 25% of their weekly audience pays for their pay-per-views on a monthly basis at about $50 a clip, right? So I think that is, telling that fans that care about good wrestling will pay for it when they are given, the meat of the product. You buy an AEW pay-per-view, you get like 10 fucking 4-star matches, and then, usually a pretty fun pre-show with another 3. And sometimes that's too much for people. People say, oh, it's so long. You know what? If it's so long, you could take a nap, pause it, and watch it later at the end of the day. Like, I don't know if people complain about it. You get real value. So I think that philosophy, like, is very aligned with mine. And they offered me an extremely generous revenue split deal on our pay-per-views. They're very earnest about supporting independent wrestling and giving a platform for kind of unique voices. And it's a direct pipeline globally to market to a similar fan base. So I'm thrilled with the opportunity that I've been given by my AEW, and I'm leaning into it. When I got that deal, I was like, oh, okay, this changes everything. I can do more shows because now I can sell tickets in a way to anybody in the world for my shows. And I'm not paying for the tech, like AEW is taking care of that. So it's an incredible opportunity to, I've already been working with a lot of AEW wrestlers on my shows. AEW has a much more kind of generous mentality when it comes to viewing their talent as independent contractors when they're not interfering with their television commitments that they have. And I personally, through my editorial process, through my curatorial process, I work with Lee Moriarty and Tekla on their art practices, have had a lot of pre-existing relationships with professional wrestlers in an artistic capacity. So it's a very natural conversation for me to go and sit down at the table with Jonathan Gresham or Lee Moriarty, or even like have the gumption to reach out to Rocky Romero, who I've respected a lot for being the bridge to actually like think about pro wrestling as a vehicle that is stronger together, to come and be like, hey, if you were to put on a show, what would you want to see? What talent is being overlooked? Is being iced out by geography because they don't live in like New Jersey or Philadelphia. They can get booked for every indie that's going on. What styles are being overlooked? Like, what historical reference can we think about when we market a show or want to educate an audience? So I think that has been really, I've been really fortunate to be given this opportunity. And I'm really amping up, and trying to do as many quality shows at a sustainable clip that the audience can, would be willing to pay for between now, at least in the end of the year, but hopefully in perpetuity.
What was the decision behind Jonathan Gresham being the first co-producer there? And as a follow-up, I know the show is just in a couple of days here. Has he tried to add a death match to the show after his recent venture?
So Jonathan Gresham is somebody that I have greatly respected for a very long time. I'm a bit of a shit talker, punk rocker kind of guy. And John, I think, is somebody who in his career has been very passionate about his personal perspective on professional wrestling, whether it comes to style, whether it comes to how identity is projected in professional wrestling. For him to be, like a kind of African-American world champion, like holding a belt and defending in the territories. Like, and I've always really respected him. But when John had his stroke in October of 2025, I think you guys probably know about this. He had 2 COVID-induced strokes and, didn't know what was going to happen with his career, and then went and trained to come back. When I called him, I said, he was supposed to be working for me in JCW at that point and doing a lot of dates. I was like, listen, I want to be there for you. I want to support you. I don't want to collaborate with you. And as he came back to wrestling, like we talked a lot, and, like many people, when they have a near-death experience, it kind of like completely changed the way that he saw the world. And at a place when he was maybe more guarded previously, where he was more skeptical. Now he's like completely open-minded, and he's really excited about doing new things in wrestling and, training a future generation. So it was a no-brainer for me that the first show I wanted to do was with somebody that I had really rich collaborative with, and who I also just like think is one of my favorite wrestlers too, just like bell to bell. As far as people who are currently unsigned, I don't think there's a better wrestler than Jonathan Gresham. So I think that's pretty reflective of like the spirit of what we want to do. I also love technical wrestling. I love high class professional wrestling as much as I do love death matches too. Like I did a book about death matches. But I think both, have their value. And Jonathan Gresham is somebody who respects that too. Clearly, he just wrestled Sashi Takeda in a beautiful death match in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I think he's somebody who also like understands that styles are important, and creating environments where unique styles can be cultivated is very important. Like if there was no Chikara, for example, for somebody like Orange Cassidy to get over in and build an audience, there'd be no Orange Cassidy in AEW, because it would have been a gimmick, that was completely strange with no audience that would have showed up. And people are already mad about it when he showed up, but he was already over, So the same thing could be said with like in the deathmatch, sphere, like people like Nick Gage who've come up in CZW and GCW. It's like back in the day, not everything was like a super indie, everything had like different regions had distinct styles. And I think that will be part of the DNA of produce as we roll out too. Like you'll see like kind of like interesting subcultures of wrestling highlighted in the curated portions of the show. I have talked to Jonathan about death matches since he had one. I was like, "You gonna do this all the time? Like, what's the deal?" And he's like, "I don't know about all the time, but like, I don't know if I was the champion or something, it'd be different." But then we've started developing a concept together that we may roll out in 2027 around wrestlers. It's Jonathan's concept, but like around wrestlers like him and their relationship to deathmatch. But I don't want to give too much away yet.
Technical deathmatch wrestling is what we're going to see. It is.
There we go. So you're going off the back of like a very exciting weekend for pro wrestling, and what I've gotten from you so far is that you're a genuine wrestling fan. So if you had to tell someone in the chat or us to go to this show or to watch this show, what's the 1 or 2 matches that you think are going to kind of stand out the most, or you're excited for?
I'm excited for all of them. I booked it. But I would say that the matches that are going to be really like stand out and incredible for a new audience. First of all, our main event, Jonathan Gresham wrestling against Fuminori Abe. Fuminori Abe is a genuine independent wrestler in Japan who is one of the best in the world and continually stands out in promotions like Big Japan, All Japan, WXW in Germany. He's somebody that who's put on his own produce shows in Japan under the banner of his tag team with Nomura called Astronauts. He's actually wrestled Nomura in incredible matches in their own produce shows, and he's somebody that I've had wrestle for me in JCW previously. He's been on Bloodsport as well, and worked for GCW, and he's somebody who I think brings a really unique Smash Mouth style, and it's gonna one of the things I want to put out there is that one of the things about the psychology of our shows is that they are for wrestling fans. Like, it is curated wrestling per se, but like curated wrestling just means I want to put on the best fucking matches for the fans, but also present a logic behind wrestling that makes sense to somebody who's never seen wrestling before. I want people to walk in the room and be like, oh, is this a fight? Is this real or is it not? If you don't know about wrestling, right? Because that suspension of disbelief is what makes wrestling great. I think you get more granular when you're in a really kind of like wrestling vacuum and look at something and be like, this is like popping the crowd. But there are also things in wrestling, if you're not a wrestling fan and you watch it, it looks completely alien. I'm encouraging our roster not to lean into that. I want these matches to look like pro wrestling, but I want them to look like fights too. So, and fights in different styles. Fuminari Abe and Jonathan Gresham is going to be a fight. Tracy Williams and LeBron Cazone, that's going to be a fight. Zack Sabre Jr. and Darian Bankston, first time ever match. The best technical wrestler in the world against one of the best up and coming technical wrestlers in the United States. Bankston, who not everybody knows, but he is actually a professionally actor from the Royal Academy of London in Shakespeare. And if you check out our Instagram, he actually has a really funny promo where he plays off the fact that Zack Sabre Jr. once told the Japanese media that doing professional technical wrestling in America is like reading Shakespeare to a dog. So Bankston actually filmed a promo where he reads Shakespeare to a dog because he wants to show Zack Sabre that he's got some tricks that old dog may not know about yet. So I think that's going to be really exciting as well. I'm bringing some of the kind of the Smash Mouth like brawl style that people come to be used to in places like JCW and GCW, as Effie and Mance Warner are taking on Mad Dog Connolly and Beastman. It's going to be a real potpourri of like different styles, and I think people are going to be excited. And one of the things I'm really looking forward to on these first few shows too. People may think I'm crazy or I'm going to go broke, but I booked a lot of fucking wrestlers. There's like 40, 50 wrestlers on the first two shows. And part of that is because I want to give exposure to as many of the top independent wrestlers in the world as possible on these first few shows for new audiences. But also, like, I'm trying to build like a scene here. I'm trying to touch all the individual audiences of these people regionally, especially because we're marketing globally. So that's been part of our campaign with Buy AEW is really, not only like promoting Produce the brand, but promoting individual wrestlers, giving them personal codes so they can go to their audience and be like, hey, support me on pay-per-view. And that we can track like, who actually is a needle mover, like who sells pay-per-views, who sells tickets, and that's not to say like, if you don't, it's punitive, because like the system has not been set up for that to actually thrive really in independent wrestling at all. Every promoter really has a kind of like an ego about like the brand being what sells tickets, and it's also what kind of places like WWE have like programmed to think people. Like it's like, yeah, WrestleMania sells the tickets. It's not the matches, but like if the top matches actually feel like there's skin in the game, if there's a blurred line between reality, it's like we know hot matches sell pay-per-views. 17 million fucking people watch Ronda Rousey against Gina Carano based on the hype. It wasn't the brand of MVP. Fucking Jake Paul's not selling 17 million pay-per-views. So like, I really think that, we're like, this is an experiment in seeing like how hardcore are our hardcore fan base, and can we get people as excited about us about wrestling as we are, by making this a place where wrestlers get to show off their skills and also their creativity.
I actually love that idea of the codes to see like kind of who's selling. I didn't have this for wrestling, but years ago I had this idea for MMA to do something similar to see like who's actually like drawing as the fights instead of just the UFC. This was decades ago, and I was not smart enough to actually like put all of this together and do anything with it. I just thought it was a cool concept. So I actually love that you're actually doing that in a way with pro wrestling.
I'm always going to do it. I'm going to do it as long as we're in business, because at the end of the day, it also, for me, it's like I'm somebody who also wants to fairly compensate the talent in relation to what they bring to the game, you know? So we're doing things like merch collaborations, where we're doing royalties for the wrestlers, which is pretty unheard of for independent wrestling. We're, you know, like one of the things that I think is, it's kind of like an institutional critique about wrestling in the way that I did it, but it's also not, it's a shoot. When I announce a wrestler is going to wrestle with produce, I say, like you would in UFC or Bellator or anywhere else, like, you know, Steve Macklin has signed a multi-fight deal or agreed to a multi-fight deal with produce. What does that mean? That means I called Steve Macklin and be like, hey, Steve, I saw you're available. I think you're a great worker. I think you're a badass. I want to offer you like 4 dates, you know, and I'm going to pay you a rate. Like, are you in for the 4 dates? And that's all. And in theory, when it comes to like other, like a contract as an independent contractor, that is the same deal that should exist in any other form of professional wrestling or fighting. There shouldn't, if you're truly an independent contractor and you're not an employee, you shouldn't be saddled with all these competitive restrictions on what you do in the rest of your fucking time. Like, it's kind of illegal, you know, but people overlook that to a certain extent. And like, you know, it's also part of this discord about online with everybody thinking they're an expert in business, being like, oh, well, he agreed to it, so it's like, you know, like that's the deal. It's like, no, that's not how it works, because billion-dollar companies, you know, have a team full of fucking lawyers, and independent wrestlers are making $100 a night, so they don't have the resources to go look at a contract with the same eyes and be like, oh yeah, okay, well, that's fair, you know. No, they want to get exposure. So I look to not take advantage of that. I want to shine a light on the fact, like, you know, these guys, regardless of where they work, are agreeing to fight deals with us, and we're going to promote them. And we're going to promote them on, you know, like as if we're promoting a fight for each of their matches. That's why I try to announce, like, I've announced the full fight card of my show about a month in advance. Because when you buy tickets to UFC, you know what you're going to see. You don't go to see SmackDown and not know what the matches are, and then show up and you have 4 matches in 4 hours. You don't see the stars that you thought you were going to see. I believe in truth in advertising.
Adam, we appreciate you joining us today. Guys, it is the first Produce event. It'll be available on my AEW. It is Produce Volume 1, the Octopus. It is Monday, June 29th. We're going back in time.
Yeah, and I'll announce right now, I'm getting the graphics ready. We're actually going to do, for every show, a kickoff show called the Produce Express Lane, which will be on our YouTube on the Produce Network. So from 7 to 8, we're going to show a lot of the amazing like documentaries we've made about independent wrestlers. And from that 7:30 to 8 o'clock period, we'll have a couple of free matches from the card. So the 6-woman tag with Nick CXS, Janai Kai, Jordan Blade against Gabby Forza, Emerson Jane, and Dark Sheik will be on the Produce Express Lane, as well as Dominic Guarini against Oni King. And then we'll kick off on pay-per-view with Zack Sabre Jr. shortly thereafter. So I just, you know, like there will be multiple points of entry. You will be able to see Produce for free for at least a little bit. And I hope everybody can tune in, especially guys, because if you are hardcore wrestling fans and you watch everything, Raw is on at 6 o'clock this week. So you can watch Raw, and then you can tune into Produce and watch and compare and contrast and see what you like better.
Or you can skip Raw altogether.
I mean, I don't encourage wrestling fans to skip wrestling if they love wrestling. Like even myself, I'll go pay for shit. Like,
it is entertainment.
I'll pay for go to UFC. You know, I ain't paying $1.5 million to go sit on the White House lawn and suck down. I'll go to Newark, New Jersey, and watch, you know, with the hope of Sean Strickland getting his ass beat. Fortunately, he didn't, but whatever. So I think there's like, you know, like I'm in this to support professional wrestlers, and professional wrestling. And, we have shows lined up through the fall for June 29th, 8 p.m., Jonathan Gresham, the Octopus. You're going to get a hell of a show. We also have the film director, Abel Ferrara, who I befriended at the Cannes Film Festival this year. And I saw him play a private concert there. I was like, hey, you're one of my favorite directors. I love King of New York. I love Ben Tenet. And it's pretty funny that you sing. Do you want to come be the first musical performer on our show? And he's like, how much, kid? And we made a deal. And he'll be there. He'll be performing 2 sets. And with that inspiration, actually, on the Rocky show on August 3rd, we're doing the first ever Royal Rambo. And the winner of that, which is like, a Japanese-inspired Royal Rumble, we are going to crown the first King of New York. So that match will also be in August. July 16th, White Eagle Hall in Jersey City. Taiga Style, Lee Moriarty, my probably closest collaborator in pro wrestling on the artistic side, is helping me curate a show, bringing a lot of top talent from Pittsburgh, the West Coast, etc. And we have some big matches on that. A couple historic matches. Fred Rosser against Effie, somebody who broke down the barrier of identity of professional wrestling against like one of the loudest mouth, iconoclast kind of trailblazers in wrestling. Probably could be the toughest match you've seen in a long time between those two guys. Mance Warner and Mad Dog Connolly. I cut an unprecedented deal where Mance Warner is going to be defending 2 titles from 2 promotions in independent wrestling. One, the IWTV title, which is being defended off of IWTV for the first time, and the the Revolver World title, which is Sami Callihan's promotion from Iowa, which is hosted on YouTube typically. And that'll be a double title match, because part of the ethos of Produce is that independent wrestling is stronger together. And if I can call Sammy, I can call Jerry, I can call Matt from Action, and we can work together to do cool and interesting things, it bursts the bubble of the fact that when you watch something that has maybe an audience of a few thousand people, like all that matters in that space is a universe within that very limited space, which makes no sense when all the fans who watch this shit are online reading all the other results. So I want to create just like a logic that, like I'm not going to necessarily talk about or respect all the other storylines of other promotions, but like the kind of like high level stuff that everybody's heard about in the headlines, or who the champion is, or big matches that happened that were great. Like, yeah, we're going to respect it. That's why when you look at somebody's card or announcement, it says where else they wrestle, where they made their name, what their style is. Like, I want to make the professional wrestling world, universe, etc., understand that what these talents do, wherever they are, matter, and they matter to how they're perceived on my shows as well. And somebody asked me if I would ever book the one called Manders. Yeah, Manders is on our first show. The Cowboy Way is wrestling Tommy Billington and Adam Priest in a match that is curated by Jonathan Gresham, but also is very much, I'm very excited about it because it really harkens back to All Japan in the 80s and 90s, thinking about the British Bulldogs against guys like Stan Hansen, Terry Gordy, Ted DiBiase. Like, one of the things about the great wrestlers of today is that they're inspired by the great wrestlers of yesterday, whether that is through tribute or stylistic influence. And you're going to see that very strongly in Produce.
Adam, we appreciate it again, you joining us, guys. It is Produce Wrestling, first show, June 29th, Monday, as Adam mentioned, free on YouTube at 7 o'clock, and then my AEW at 8 o'clock.
And if you want to support the promotion of Jeremy Lambert and Fightful, you can get $40 off our first 6 shows. So instead of paying $90, you can pay $50 with the code Produce Fightful.
There you go. Look at that.
Look at that. Magical.
Yeah,
we need to have you on before the Montreal show. I just want to say that because we got to talk about the Degrassi thing.
Oh, I would love it. Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of a sick fuck, and I was thinking about John's stroke, and I was like, oh man, it'd be so kind of dark if we just put John in the Jimmy chair in the promotion for the.
It popped me and Steven Jensen, so we're gonna need you back on for that.
Yeah, that show's gonna be really cool. We got Hazuki coming in. We got Fuwa-chan making her North American debut. I'll come back and talk about that show if you'll have me.
Yeah, for sure. We will set that up. We'll be in contact. Good luck with everything this Monday, and hope it's a good weekend for you, just wrestling wise, and then leading into Monday.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate the airtime.
Thanks, Adam. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Take care.
There we go, everybody. Orange Crush, Adam Abdallah there joining us. I love how the last two guests on the show, they say fuck immediately, and they're like, can we curse? I was like, well, if you can't, you kind of just did.
Ask for forgiveness.
Yeah. It's Cody Rhodes out here. It's the first time you hear the F word. Should not be on WWE programming. As I say, hey, Rock, go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
We appreciate Adam joining us. Hey, use the code Produce Fightful, and I don't know, hopefully we can like outdraw the Observer out here, and then we'll show that. Yeah, we'll show that we deserve all the big money and not Dave and Brian with their bullshit.
Tell me how you really feel, Jeremy.
I like Dave and Brian. I've never met them. I've met Dave once or twice years ago. I legitimately like Brian. I've never met him, but I legitimately like Brian. How you doing, SP3?
I am doing well. I'm glad to be here on a Thursday. Glad that we were able to talk to Adam, hear about the produce show. I should think about going to that. I actually looked up tickets.
Oh, you should go.
It's in Brooklyn, so if I don't go to this one, I'm definitely going to try to go to the next one in August.
You should definitely go. Yeah, we'll have Adam back on before the Montreal show. We were actually talking off air about the Montreal show because I said Joel was going to that, but now who cares if Joel's going to be there if you guys are going to talk to Grassy? That's way better. Yeah, that's way better than whatever. Joel's going to ask a bunch of Canadian questions. Who could possibly care? Running from the grind out here. Guys, leave a thumbs up on the video. We're 37 minutes into this show. Leave a thumbs up. Send us a super chat. Get your question, comment, statement read on the air. All of that fun stuff. Subscribe to the channel. Tap the bell for notifications. Do all of that. We're going to talk some wrestling today. But just before we went on air, SP3, another big trade went down in the NBA. The Minnesota Timberwolves, a day after, or 2 days after, I think. 2 days after literally giving away Julius Randle. Literally giving him away. They've acquired LaMelo Ball for Naz Reid and an unprotected first in 2033, and then 3 pick swaps in 28, 29, and 30. And a bunch of second-round picks as well. And they got Josh Green in this deal. I think it's a little underrated. What'd you think when you first saw this deal?
When I first saw this deal, I didn't even have time to react to it because I saw it literally just before we went on air. And it's very surprising. I mean, we kind of said that they would make a move, and that one of the moves that they did need to make was getting a point guard. I said that on True Hill Heat Check as well. We went through all the teams that got eliminated in the playoffs, and the main thing we said about the Timberwolves is they need a secondary ball handler, a shot creator to go next to Anthony Edwards, or you're just going to be going as far as second round or conference finals, but you're never going to get over that hump. So this feels like a all-in move for the Timberwolves. But it also seems with the Hornets, they're like, yeah, this is not going to work. We know LaMelo Ball better than you. This is not going to work with LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards. So we'll take all of your draft capital, basically, because that draft haul is impressive as hell. This is another... it's been very rare that you see the superstar trade that you're questioning who got off better. But twice this week, we have seen those because LaMelo Ball, regardless of his faults and regardless of the things that he does outside of the basketball court and kind of stupidity that he says, he is a superstar. He's not a bona fide superstar, but he has superstar traits in him if he can cut out and mature a little bit. So I think that when you trade someone who's that young as well, 23, 24 years old, and you trade him at this stage of his career, you're basically saying that you're kind of giving up on him already. And now it's time to see if a change of scenery will help him out a lot. So we'll see where that goes with the Timberwolves, but the Hornets, I kind of respect them saying we're going all in on kind of like rebuilding. We went as far as we could as far as the play in, but we're gonna bet on Brandon Miller. We're gonna bet on Con Knipple and LaMelo Ball. We're done with you.
I think this was a really good trade for the Hornets. These draft picks, that 2033 unprotected first, that could be very good. The pick swaps, I'm like, because I don't think Edwards is going anywhere anytime soon. He won't be a free agent until I think the 2030 off season. So the pick swaps in at least 28 and 29 are probably not going to swap, because Minnesota should be competitive for the next few seasons. But the pick swap in 2030 might convey if Edwards leaves, and then that 2033 pick could really be something, especially unprotected. So regardless, like, you're getting it, and that could be a lottery pick, especially if it doesn't work out with Ant and LaMelo. I think it'll be okay as far as like personality wise, because I think they kind of match personality wise. So I think they'll actually be okay there. Will it work on the court? It'll be fun on the court.
It's gonna be entertaining.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest LaMelo fan. I've said that for a while. I don't think his play style always lends itself to winning basketball. Look, they had a great second half of the year last year, enough to get into a play-in spot. But then what happened in the play-ins? Right, they barely beat Miami in a game that LaMelo probably should have been kicked out of, and then they got thumped by the Magic. So I don't fully I'm not a huge believer in LaMelo. I'm just not. But he does what Minnesota needs, and that's create for himself and others, because they had none of that against the Spurs. Yeah. And so LaMelo's at least going to shore that up. Very curious what Minnesota's doing front court wise. Like, they literally gave up Julius Randle for nothing. You lose Naz Reid, and they had to give up Naz Reid in this deal.
To be fair, the free agency is more big heavy than
they got no money. They can't sign anybody. Who cares what the free agency is like? They can't do anything.
Exception, get something.
They don't have a mid-level exception, SP3.
Or trade somebody.
They just took on money in getting Josh Green and LaMelo. They literally have no money for free agency, and they signed Io. This free agency class has nothing to do with Minnesota, because Minnesota can't do a damn thing about it with this free agency class. Oh yeah, they're gonna have to trade people, but who you trading Gobert? Then you got to trade. You probably got to trade DiVincenzo. I think they're looking to move DiVincenzo because he's gonna miss most of the season.
I think they want to get rid of everybody who belonged to that Knicks trade, because it's a bad omen, bad aura around that Knicks trade now.
Maybe. Like, I guess you can trade DiVincenzo's contract because it's an expiring deal, so maybe some team will look to offload somebody they have a couple years tied up to in a front court player that's not really working out, that they'll be like, all right, sure, we'll move off of this and take the expiring deal of DiVincenzo. I don't know what draft picks Minnesota's giving up now, though. They just gave them all away in this deal, so I don't even know what picks you're attaching to that DiVincenzo contract. They're gonna make other moves, I would imagine, because right now their front court is Rudy Gobert. I'm very, very excited for Rudy Gobert to run the paint with his hands up, looking for the ball, as he always does, and LaMelo's going to throw it to him, and he's going to fumble the shit out of it. I'm so excited, because he's finally got somebody.
Because Rudy Gobert offensively was helped out by the fact that you had Julius Randle and you got Naz Reid, and you just traded both of them.
He's so bad offensively. He's so bad.
That's why it was good that you had like offensive guys like that can create their own shot in Julius Randle, and then a guy who knows how to play the lanes and gets inside very well, and Nas Reed, and now you've lost both of them.
Well, LaMelo's going to help him out as a pick and roll guy. LaMelo can run the pick and roll, and LaMelo will hit him on those passes. Again, I just don't think that's a good move because he's going to fumble the ball.
Yeah,
when you hit him on those passes. Yeah. And then you have Johan Behringer, who has played like 5 minutes in his NBA career. Jaden McDaniels can play the 4. I like Jaden McDaniels at the 4. Like their starting lineup right now looks like LaMelo, Ant, Io, McDaniels, and Gobert. Terrence Shannon and Johan Behringer coming off the bench, and Josh Green. Again, where's your not a ton of front court depth there. Yeah. It's still no great ball hand. I assume LaMelo and Edwards will split a lot of time. They did get Isaiah Jackson in the draft. He's a guard who can create, so we'll see how he works out. I mean, the fact that they took Rob Dillingham as like a top 4 and like barely played him at all before trading him. I mean, he's part of the IO trade, but before trading him, I don't know. Like Chris Finch doesn't love rookies like really at all, so I don't know how much he's going to play, especially as a second round pick. He might not have a choice, honestly. The Timberwolves are in salary cap hell, and they added money with this deal. Now, getting off the Randall deal was good, but then they literally just made it right back up in this deal. So they're in complete salary cap hell.
It's interesting. It's like you guys address your main problem, but now you have a different problem, and now you don't have any money to spend. So it's very interesting.
I don't think they're different. I don't necessarily know if they are better, honestly.
Oh no, I didn't say they were better.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
They addressed their problem, but now you have a different problem. So you didn't address anything really.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if they are better. They're different though, and I look forward to watching LaMelo and Ant. It'll be really fun. We'll see if LaMelo can stay healthy. I think LaMelo, for all of his flaws, I think LaMelo is a better bet than Kawhi Leonard and Ja Morant, because that's who they were also linked to. I like LaMelo better than those two because you were going to have to give up Nas Reed in either of those deals just to make the money work for the biggest portion of it. And if you're going to give up Nas Reed, Kawhi's 35 on an expiring deal. You're probably not re-signing him long term. That doesn't really get you over the hump, honestly.
This one you have years now.
Yeah, LaMelo's better.
Theoretically.
Yeah, LaMelo is better than Ja. And even though I have questions about LaMelo's durability, I mean, Ja really can't stay on the court.
Yeah.
This isn't so much about, none of these owners should care about money. They're all billionaires. It's not about that. But you get punished being in the luxury tax so much. You get like multiple years. You get punished being first apron for so many years. You get punished being second apron so many years. This is why
Dolan's got Knicks fans already stressing. They only celebrated for like a week, and they're already stressing because he's been very adamant. He's trying to avoid second apron. He doesn't want to pay like Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with, the owners don't care about. Of course, these owners don't care about money. What they do care about is that money will constantly add up, and at some point you're going to be losing a little bit of money. And they do care about, the restrictions on their team of, oh wait, now we're losing first round picks. Oh wait, now we're getting capped on trades. Like, they're going to start caring about that kind of stuff. So that's why none of these teams want to do that. Again, the Thunder owner is like, yeah, we'll pay if we have a championship team, and they're a championship contending team, and they've paid the past couple of years. But now it's like, wait, we're paying, because they've been kind of in the luxury tax, and now they're going to be in the luxury tax again. And now all of a sudden, instead of paying $100 million in the luxury tax because you've been in it for multiple years, now you're paying $300 million, $400 million, $500 million. And it's like, well, now we care about money a little bit when it continues. And that's the case with all teams who are constantly in the luxury tax, first apron, second apron. That's fine, Jose. I'm just saying that it's a fine joke, but it's also not reality of these owners don't care about the money. It's an interesting trade. I'll give them that. I like it for Minnesota just because I think it's like fun. I don't love it just because I don't think it really gets them over the hump or anything. But it's a long
for Charlotte.
Yeah, I really like it for Charlotte. Now, it might not work out with Charlotte. Maybe Minnesota stays good. Maybe Minnesota makes other moves and these draft picks just don't become anything. I think it's a good bet to make for Charlotte though because they've seen what they got in LaMelo. They kind of realized that run in the second half last year was sort of fake. Just like James Harden. Just like James Harden knew that Clippers run was fake after they went 6-21 and then clawed back to 500. He's like, yeah, this is fake. Get me into a real contending team. Like, I think they knew that run was a little bit fake in the second half, and so they wanted to move on and, extend their timeline and window a little bit. So I really like it for Charlotte. Again, it might not work out, but they got some options now with Naz Reid in that front court. They drafted Haynes Steinbeck. So I do like their team overall. I'll reserve a little bit of judgment on the Minnesota part just to see what else they do in the offseason. Like, we just got past the draft. We still have free agency to go. And I know, like, as I just said, they ain't got no money to make any type of free agent moves. So I'm not expecting anything there. But trades can be made, and other teams will start to get desperate with things. Maybe Minnesota finds a way into a couple of other players, and it's like, all right, you feel a little bit better about the team. I'm at least interested in them this year. You could not sell me on a running things back with Julius Randle. I will buy LaMelo Ball being your second player more than I would ever buy Julius Randle being your second player. And I like the trio of LaMelo, Ant, and Jaden McDaniels. I'm very high on Jaden McDaniels, so I do like that. A couple questions from the chat on there. Y'all think Boston's gonna move Jaylen Brown this year? I kind of do. What do you think? You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
The move to make was the Giannis deal, but
yeah, but they didn't really want to make that Giannis deal.
No, they didn't.
It was Jaylen Brown and 2 firsts.
Yeah, like Jaylen Brown and 2 firsts. They didn't want to give up a Browser and with some other bigs. I'm like, your bigs suck. Like, you should have learned that from Game 7. But
yeah, they didn't want to give up Hugo. Yeah,
I was like, man, Boston, y'all disappoint me. Y'all gonna be behind the Knicks this year.
Oh yeah, I think they're gonna move on from Jaylen Brown. I really do. I think this past season, like, they got their championship, but I think this past season he was great on the court. But everything after the playoffs, they obviously like Tatum better. They've always liked Tatum better. I think they're just going to look to – his value is never going to be higher at this point.
I do agree with that. I've seen the Mobley.
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't know why Cleveland does that, though.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense for Cleveland.
Yeah, what are you gaining if you're Cleveland to make that move? Because Mobley's a better fit than Jaylen Brown is. I mean, unless you're losing Harden, but then I think they're going to re-sign Harden, honestly. I just don't – I'm sure Boston wants Mobley. I think Cleveland's way too high on Evan Mobley. I'm not saying like they're way too high as like he's not he couldn't be moved for the right price. I just don't think Jaylen Brown is the right price. So, and
yeah.
I think they'd give up Evan Mobley if it meant getting Giannis, but obviously that's done, and that was never really a talk to begin with. But yeah, I don't, and I like Evan Mobley, I don't see why Cleveland entertains a Mobley for Jaylen Brown swap. That doesn't really solve anything to
No.
me.
You're basically just getting a taller version of Donovan Mitchell, and you already have Donovan Mitchell. So
I guess I can see where it fits.
he's Donovan Mitchell, but a better defender.
Yeah, your starting lineup becomes, I guess, Harden. I assume he'll resign. Sam Merrill, Donovan Mitchell,
Jaylen
Brown at the 4, and Jared Allen.
Ooh, Jaylen Brown at the 4.
Yeah.
I think he would play the 3.
Who's playing the 4? Dean Wade? He playing the 4?
Dean Wade.
I like Dean Wade. I'm not mad at Dean
I
Wade.
like Dean Wade.
Yeah.
No, I'm not mad at that.
I don't know. Yeah, Jaylen Brown's not dealing with Harden's nonsense. They might get along pretty well.
Honestly. Oh, you might hate him. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you. He might hate him.
I just don't. I don't love that for Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland loves it either.
No.
Yeah. I don't think
That's why it's just a rumor.
Yeah, I think Boston's going to try to move off Jaylen Brown, though. I really do. I don't know what they
Who
get.
would they get? Kawhi Leonard?
I thought about Kawhi. You're getting picks back in that deal, too, though, because the Clippers, Jaylen Brown's a better player than Kawhi Leonard as it stands. But Kawhi's an expiring contract. And I could see Kawhi. But that feels just a little too similar, honestly. Like, why are you going to trade Jaylen Brown for a guy who, on his best days, better than Jaylen Brown? And Kawhi was great.
But he's older and injury prone.
Yeah. So. Embiid's a good shout. I floated Embiid in in an article that I wrote. Embiid's a good shout. That I don't think Philly would do that deal unless Embiid really wanted out. Boston and Philly trading assets.
That just doesn't seem possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think
the bad blood, if it was gone, it's back after last playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't see them trading assets like that. I don't mind that deal, honestly. I don't mind that deal if you're Boston. I actually really like that deal if you're Boston. I don't know why Philly does that unless you're moving off Paul George and then trying to get a big from there. And I don't know what Jaylen Brown's value is. That's the thing. I mean, I kind of know what his value is. I just don't know where, what you're getting for him as far as who's available. Not necessarily I can see Evan Mobley. Okay, that makes sense to me. Again, from a Boston perspective. Joel Embiid makes sense for me from a Boston perspective. I just don't know why these other teams are making these moves. It feels like you're trading
Brown for Kevin Durant.
I think if I'm Houston, I'm entertaining that.
I would too. If I'm Houston, I was like, oh, so I'm getting a shorter but younger version of the player that I'm giving up. Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
I think if
I was gonna say for Alpin Şengün, because I do think that the Celtics need a bona fide all-star at the forward or at the 4 or the 5 spot. But Şengün is the most fraudulent all-star of any big man in the NBA, not named Chet Holmgren.
That's fair. Yeah, I think Şengün, they might want Şengün over Durant because Durant's only got a couple years left and Şengün's at least got a decade left at the very least. But I'm not mad at that if I'm Houston and I can get Jaylen Brown, whether it's Durant or Şengün. Honestly, I'm not mad at that.
I'll go to Houston and be like, which one you gonna give up?
Yeah,
I'll give you Jaylen Brown.
Denver, if they offer Jamal Murray, that feels like if Denver wants to do that, that's a move to shake things up, just to shake things up.
Yeah.
I think it makes them a little bit better.
I don't know why. I don't know if you're Denver, why you would break up like the best duo in the NBA.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Is I do think it makes them better. I think on the whole, Jaylen Brown's a better player than Jamal Murray, but you're also losing a decade's worth of chemistry between Murray and Jokic that you can't get back. And Jaylen Brown is not Jamal Murray when it comes to dribble handoff, when it comes to running a pick and roll, and just overall with Jokic. I do think he's a very good cutter. I think he'd be great off ball with Jokic. But again, you're throwing away a lot of chemistry for a guy that I don't think shifts your team in a way that you need your team to be shifted. I don't hate it, but Sabonis is not bad.
Yeah, Sabonis. I was thinking of Sabonis, but I feel like he's too injury prone.
Yeah, Boston might be willing to take that shot, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out for them with Porzingis, but I don't know if you can strike that.
Do you do Sabonis and DeRozan for Jaylen Brown?
Ooh,
which side says
that would make me more interested. That would make me be willing to take the risk of a player who's a little bit more injury prone, because I'm basically making up for the perimeter scoring that I'm losing out with Jaylen Brown if you throw in DeRozan.
I don't know if that deal works. I'm actually going to try it.
Money-wise, I don't think it works. I think that's too much Boston taking back.
Yeah, I think it is too. Let's see. It actually works.
Oh, man. That would be cruel. That would just be Boston being like, we really don't like you, Jaylen Brown. That's basically Boston becoming WWE and Jaylen Brown is Braun Breaker.
It actually
we don't really mess with you like that.
I mean, Boston does take on $14 million more in salary, but they have the space to do it. So it actually it works.
All right.
All right. I'm not super mad at that.
Why the hell not?
I'm really not super mad at that one. I don't think it's gonna happen, but if you're Boston and you're looking to kind of shake things up, you want a big. Sabonis is still good, especially as an offensive hub. Defensively, he's not good. DeRozan's gonna get you 10 to 15 a night until he's about 50 just on mid-range.
Exactly.
So
he's gonna be that Vince Carter type of player.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a few more years where he's just giving you double figures coming off the bench.
Yeah. I was looking at this Sacramento. I was doing this last night, but now that it's pulled up in front of me, this team fucking sucks, and they're paying so much money to these guys. They're awful, dude. Like, we know they're a bad team. Dude, they're paying Levine $48 million. He's got a player option. He's picking that up. They're paying Sabonis $45 million. DeRozan $25. DeAndre Hunter $24. Keegan Murray $24. And Malik Monk $20. None of these guys they're all 26 and older. This is like a 20-win team. And your entire salary is consisting of guys who are the third best player on most teams. Like, on a championship team.
Not even a championship team. I would say a decently in the playoffs team.
Yeah, on a playoff contending team, Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis are your third best players.
Yeah.
And both of them are getting paid like superstars. They're in hell.
Blame the Bulls for that. So.
Well, I mean, I blame Sacramento for making these
Also
moves
true.
for them. They're in complete hell, though. Like, it's dire. That's why I'm not mad at this from a Sacramento perspective. Like, wait, I can save $14 million, get Jaylen Brown, who immediately becomes my best player, and is actually a good enough player to lead a team to the playoffs. Yeah, I'm doing that. if I'm Boston, I'm like, all right, I can slot Sabonis as your second or third best player. You're playing next to Tatum, who you view as a top tier superstar. Got DeRozan there, who's always been consistent. I'm not mad at that deal, honestly. Yeah, this team sucks. This team absolutely sucks, dude. That's a 2K team where you pick them and you're like, who? Trade Finder. What draft picks you giving me?
You revamped the whole team.
Yeah. Like, I'm trading all of these dudes. Give me just expiring contracts and draft picks, and then let me build this team through free agency. Because I ain't winning nothing with this actual team. I was looking at them. I was like, oh. Real quickly, I do have it's not a Thunder hot take. It is a Thunder suggestion. I threw out Najee Marshall as a wing that I wanted the other day. I'm going to add to my list, and I'm going to say Derrick Jones Jr. For the Clippers. I like Derrick Jones Jr. I would love him on the team. I think we get rid of Joe and Dort. We have the money to we have the space to get Derrick Jones Jr. Those are the two players that I'm targeting in this offseason. Is either Derrick Jones Jr. or Najee Marshall. I'd be happy with either one of those players. I like our second round pick, Otega Owe out of Kentucky. I don't think you can ever go wrong with a Kentucky guard. Very Dort-ish with his defensive playmaking, just putting his head down and driving the ball, and his ugly looking shot. But I do like him. Yeah. We don't have the money for PJ Washington. We just I don't know what we're doing. Yeah, you can't include PJ Washington. I like PJ Washington. I think he'd be great in OKC, but there's no feasible way to get him when we're trying to save money. Like, because I'm pretty sure, I'll look it up right now, but I'm pretty sure PJ Washington makes more than, he makes $19 million. That's more than Dort. We just paid Dort. $19 million across, he's got 4 years left on his deal. And there's no reason to do that. Najee Marshall is a free agent next year. He's on an expiring deal. He makes $9 million. That's $2 million less than Isaiah Joe. So we're saving $2 million by trading Joe. And then I'm not saying Dort has to go to Dallas. We can trade Dort to whichever team wants him and just take a bunch of seconds back. It's about getting off that contract and saving that money. So no, as much as I'd like PJ Washington, there's no feasible way OKC's getting PJ Washington. There's not without trading a higher tier player, and we're not trading a higher tier player for him. That's why I'm targeting Najee Marshall. And Derrick Jones Jr., same boat. Pretty sure expiring deal, making 10, 11 million. So flip him for Joe and then flip Dort out. But at least Najee, we're going to save some money. So that's my other manifestation, whether it be Najee or Derrick Jones Jr.
I wish you luck on that.
Thank you. Any other hoop stock before we get into Dynamite?
No, we got to get into Dynamite.
I don't have to.
It's time.
I don't have to.
It's time. We've taken these non-basketball fans on enough of a ride. They want to hear about wrestling.
They got a 40-minute interview with Orange Crush.
They did.
Wrestling doubt. Dynamite happened. The matches were good. The results don't matter. There's a pay-per-view on Sunday.
This is what Jeremy would do if he was on the Fightful main channel post show. That's his.
No, I'd be more professional. I would, I realize that people are there for a Dynamite review. This show exists in its own little bubble.
But people are here for the Dynamite review as well.
This show didn't move me.
We do a splendid job talking about Dynamite.
SP3 does. SP3 does. I appreciate it. This show didn't move me. I don't think it was like a bad show or anything. There were some good matches. Ricochet and Takeshita was great. Ospreay and Phantasmo was too long. Swerve and Daniel Garcia was too long. But
Ospreay and El Phantasmo was not too long. It was 10 minutes.
Too long.
Ridiculous. That's not too long.
long.
That's not too long. That's not too long.
Too long.
That's not too long. That's not too long. That
good
was
matches, though.
Very good match. Very good match.
Yeah. It's a good match. Jake Lee beat El Phantasmo in less than 10 minutes. Will Ospreay can't?
Well, Jake Lee used weapons and other nefarious means.
Well, Will Ospreay's supposed to be an assassin. He should do the same shit.
Hey, he didn't want to use weapons. He wanted to beat him fair and square. That's the difference between facing someone with weapons and not facing someone with weapons. That's the difference.
He's supposed to be the weapon. He's an assassin.
I tend to like this type of, and this is the second time in a row AEW had more of kind of a pay-per-view preview instead of like a traditional go-home show. When I think of traditional go-home shows, I think of a show very much centered around selling you on the pay-per-view, doing angles, doing promos, doing video packages that make you hyped and make you want to watch the show. Whereas AEW, for the go-home show heading into Double or Nothing and this go-home show, they basically gave you like mini pay-per-view previews. It was just like it's basically matches that wouldn't look out of place on the pay-per-view, like a Ricochet versus Konosuke Takeshita, which was absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite Dynamite matches of the year so far. I really enjoyed Will Ospreay and ELP. I thought ELP looked damn good. Zack Sabre Jr. and Jack Perry was excellent. A technical wrestling clinic by Zack Sabre Jr. and Jack Perry was some of the best selling of his whole career. Daniel Garcia had a great underdog babyface performance against Swerve Strickland. I thought the Death Riders versus Mystico and Brodito was a straight up banger in the opener.
That should have been longer.
Brody King is freaking amazing. Him doing the Lucha Libre spot and just his ability to stand out singles, tag team, trios action does not matter. Brody King, he goes out there, he always shines, he always stands out, no matter how many people's in the matchup, and he did that yet again in this matchup here. This was just it was killer match after killer match. There wasn't a lot of breathing room. It was very much a show kind of coordinated to not make you want to turn the channel, because Tony Khan is a big soccer guy, big football guy, and he knows he's going up against the World Cup. So that's why he gave you freaking 8 matches nonstop on a 2-hour and change show.
The trios match should have been longer, and we should have cut time off of the Ospreay and the Swerve matches.
10 minutes. You're being ridiculous.
Yeah,
you're being ridiculous.
Cut 2 minutes off.
If you had said, I agree with you when you said the same thing about Ace Austin. I agree with you when you said the same thing about a Hechicero matchup. You're not gonna tell me 10 minutes with El Phantasmo too
long. It is.
No. He shouldn't have been facing El Phantasmo then.
That's fine. I don't disagree with that. Also, you're saying, oh, Will Ospreay is against using weapons and all that stuff. What does Buddy's do in that opening match? Huh?
Well, he has no control on what they're going to do. He has no control. He doesn't want to use weapons. He's
not a true Death Rider. Falling over on his ass, getting beat up by a bucket. Maybe that's why the match went so long with El Phantasmo.
Best comment of the show so far. Thank you so much, Vala. Thank you so
Maybe
much.
that's why the match with El Phantasmo went long, is they're like, shit, this bucket just beat up Will Ospreay. We can't have him beating a wrestler in less than 10 minutes. You thought it was funny when Will Ospreay tripped over that.
That shit was hilarious. It was very much like a microcosm of like people like Jimmy McArab's feelings on Will Ospreay hanging out with the Death Rider. He tried to do something that the Death Riders do all the time, and he just fell right on his face. And it's just like, this is why people just might have a little bit of a point when they complain about the whole Will Ospreay and the Death Rider story.
That bucket whooped his ass. Yeah, pick a lane. Either you're rolling with Moxley and you're cool with the weapons being used, or you're not. Pick a side here.
He gonna pick a side. He gonna do the huddle.
He should have used the bucket in the match against ELP. Really brought it all back.
Then he
around.
would have won in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. There. SP3 recapped the whole show. Really good matches. Pay-per-views on Sunday.
This guy does not want to talk about wrestling today, apparently.
I don't talk about wrestling any day. That's not anything new.
Then what are you doing this show?
I don't know. I like talking to you. I don't like talking to Joel. I like hanging out with you. That's why I do
Should have just been FMC on Tuesdays and Thursdays then.
But then Joel would have forced me to talk about wrestling on Fridays. I don't want to do that either. I want to do 2 shows a week with you, not just one.
Well, no, I'm saying you could have just said it was two editions of FMC on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, but then the spotlight still would have had to move to the evening and everything. Like I like talking about wrestling. This Dynamite just. I'm not the person who.
You barely wanted to talk about NXT yesterday. You don't want to.
That's NXT.
You're over all these wrestlings.
I mean, I've said that for a while.
You have.
And everybody keeps copying my take, I see.
No, it's all the WWE fans that don't want to admit that WWE.
Yeah, I'll admit that WWE sucks, though. I have no problem admitting that. That's the difference between me and those people. Is they're just like
you and Zeno Hour. I agree.
Wrestling as a whole. Zeno Hour doesn't admit that WWE sucks. Yeah, Alvarez.
No, he doesn't. That's what I said. I said the difference between you and Zeno Hour. I was like, Zeno Hour was in our chat yesterday swearing up and down that the Culling versus Dorian Van Deuce and Sean Legacy was a very good matchup. Very good. Then I do a freaking preview with NXT post-show aficionado Kate, and she was like, there wasn't not one very good matchup on the show yesterday.
I'm not agreeing with Zeno Hour on WWE. He defends WWE. I can't defend WWE. Yeah. Zeno Hour hates AEW.
Zeno Hour agrees with Jeremy when Jeremy is being negative or saying something is wrong or criticizing AEW. That's the thing. That's the thing. You get it?
Yeah, I saw the Triple H quote. See, why are we taking wrestling so serious? SP3?
Guys, Triple H is the only person who can book WWE.
That was hilarious.
Doing a good job.
Dude, Cody's so funny. Cody's hilarious, man. He's the only person that can book WWE. Don't take it serious. It's just entertainment. Just enjoy the show. Be a fan.
It's supposed to be entertaining. It's there to entertain.
It's not doing a very good job.
My answer to him is, if I would have been interviewing him, I would have been the smart ass to be like, but it's not very entertaining.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It hasn't been very entertaining.
I don't think people are taking it too seriously. I think that you have not gotten better. Or you're not the same. You're not as motivated as you were 2-3 years ago.
I mean, I don't even know if he's not motivated or what it is. I give him some leeway in that, like, Ari Emanuel is just coming in and be like, hey, put this person in this stuff. I also think he's getting bullied around of like Roman's like, nah, we're doing this. Cody's like, nah, we're doing this. And Triple H's like, okay, all right, fine. I guess that's what we're doing then. For all the talk of, Tony Khan gets bullied, like Tony's got to put his foot down and be a boss. I think that applies elsewhere, honestly.
not a lot of people want to be a boss. You know, you said Tony Khan gets it, but you don't see Carlos Silva doing anything. You don't see Triple H doing anything. Triple H, a long time ago, should have got stuff under control with the main event politics that was going on. But all he did was add to it because he chose Cody in the face of all the evidence that said Roman Reigns is the number one guy. And that's why he's basically bent over a table right now and has to do whatever bloodline nonsense Roman Reigns wants to do because he has to atone for his sins of choosing Cody over Roman. That's basically what happened.
Oh, I haven't watched the full show, but I saw the clip. The double warning shot bow. Oh.
Bow! Bow!
Sami Zayn, we boys, but this your warning shot.
Shot for you.
Bow!
Bow! I was marking out. Oh my god! I was like, this is so bad.
I'm so excited for him to win.
This is the guy that is one of the faces of Triple H push talent.
Yeah, it rolls. I'm so excited for him to win on Saturday. I cannot wait.
Oh my god!
For him to win on
it's
Saturday.
Gonna burn. It's gonna.
This your warning shot.
I do need to clip Orange Cassidy and his "It's fine." I need that for Joel, just because it's such a half-hearted, like, it's fine to play off the Leo stuff. I want that clip so I can play that whenever Joel was like, it's fine. So I'm going to clip that one. Hopefully Joel's not watching this. I don't know why it would be. So I can surprise him with that on Monday.
That would be.
As he calls Forbidden Door fine. But yeah,
it was
this is fine. It's fine.
It had good wrestling. It had good matches. It was fine.
Fair.
Well, what was the best match on the show last night for you?
I mean, Takeshi and Ricochet, but I really liked Zach and Jack Perry. I think people know I am a fan of Zack Sabre Jr. Obviously, we all love jacking off and ejaculating. And
we were ejaculating yesterday.
That's good. Like Jack Perry, we've talked about it before, but he's like really found his role as sort of this underdog, plucky baby face. And when you're up against a guy like Zack Sabre Jr., who's just going to ground you, twist you in a knot, make you work for everything with his technical wrestling, I thought Jack Perry just continued to shine as a baby face. I can't wait to see him in NXT after he decides to not re-sign with AEW.
I was like, why is this like a big topic? I don't think he has much options. I mean, he can. I wouldn't be surprised if he chose to leave, but I'm just like, I'm gonna be surprised if he has a lot of options because he doesn't really have that.
Top star in TNA, Jack Perry, baby.
I mean, he would be. He definitely would be if he went there. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Zach and Jack, they delivered yesterday.
Yeah.
I did appreciate like the sense of kind of just desperation from Jack Perry's performance. Anytime he got grounded, he was like struggling to get to the ropes. And I like this crowd was better than the last 2 weeks as well. And I love the fact that it was like kind of like a Japanese crowd in the sense that they were like getting up in their seat and like watching what Zach was doing and then kind of just applauding and exploding with like the "this is awesome" chant at the end of like the sequence of different submissions that he would put him in. And that work on the arm, he was just brutalizing the arm. And Jack was selling it so well. Even when he was on offense, he was still selling it. This really worked out. They really worked well together in this one. And we got to see more of a technical style from Jack Perry as well.
I'm gonna need them to let Zack Sabre Jr. call somebody a dickhead though.
I love the fact that Zach let Kenny talk trash about him. Kenny been trying to bury him the last 2 weeks on the
mic. This hasn't like made me excited for the match. Like I'm excited for it because it's Kenny and Zach, but I don't feel like Kenny's like doing
Kenny has been determined to bury him on the mic,
Yeah.
it seems, because last week he's like, "Oh, no one knows you guys. Oh, no one knows what TMDK means. Oh, you guys don't have a catchphrase." And then this week he's like, "I'm gonna beat you on Sunday, and then no one's gonna remember you for another year." I was like, "Damn, Kenny." I was like,
Yeah.
"God damn, you ain't have to come at him like that."
Yeah, I haven't loved Kenny's sell of this, honestly. Because, I mean, Kenny's going to win, I assume. It's like,
Yeah.
you just beat a dude who nobody knows, has no catchphrase, doesn't even matter to any of this. Like, good win? I guess.
I guess if we look at the resume, it's like, oh, you beat that guy, okay, but now you haven't really presented that on television very well.
Yeah, it's been a strange build to this one, but speaking of promos, I did not love. I wasn't a fan of this Mark Briscoe promo. Sorry, it was
felt very. We've already been here.
Yeah. It didn't feel like he was like saying anything that I hadn't. It felt long again. I love Mark, but his promos during this build have felt way too long. I feel like he's used to be better at just like getting to the point of things. And for some reason in this build, like he just isn't getting to the point. And I don't know. Yeah, the crowd didn't seem into it. And then it just led to the brawl, which we all knew like was gonna happen because all right, we got to do a sell for the 12-man cage match here. Mark Briscoe's not just gonna come out and end the show on a promo. Like we're gonna have to, do kind of the hard sell here. It just felt like we took too long to get there, and his main sticking point was Don Callis isn't really friends with you.
Like, yeah, it was just like
okay.
very weird, kind of awkward, and it felt overall to me unnecessary. As soon as they said, the team, when Team Briscoe did their promo backstage and Mark wasn't there, and it was like, oh, Mark's going to say what he needs to say in the middle of the ring at the end of the night, I was just like, okay. I was like, that's really not necessary because you're doing Takeshita versus Ricochet. So the same thing you wanted to accomplish of everybody coming out and hitting a move on one another, you could have just accomplished it after the Takeshita and Ricochet match. You could have just had Fletcher comes out, hits Takeshita with a move. Okada comes out, hits him with a move. Briscoe comes out, hits Okada with a move. Then MJF comes out. You can then have Kyle O'Reilly come out after that, Roderick Strong, Jake Doyle. You could do everything that you really were trying to do with everybody coming in and giving you a little preview ahead of the cage matchup, and you could have done it just after the Ricochet and Takeshita match. You didn't need the promo. The promo wasn't long enough for me to be like, that was like big negative on the show. I kind of just forgot about it after the segment happened, but it was very unnecessary.
Yeah, especially like when Mark wasn't there during the conglomeration backstager. Like, wait, where's Mark? And then they're like, oh, Mark will have something to say later on. I was like, oh, okay, like fine. But it was just too long. Like I would have just preferred if they had done like an in-ring at the end, like all of them in ring at the end, and then all right, we just get the big brawl. I also like your setup of okay, Takeshita wins. Let's do the attacks one by one after that. Yeah. I like Mark Briscoe. I've said for a while that he should just be an up and down babyface on the card because he's very good in that role. The first feud with MJF was very good. I thought that accomplished a lot of things when they feuded last year. This, I understand, like, people don't view him as a world title challenger, and we all think he's just killing time between beating Darby and now facing Kenny in a month, which, fair, but that's no excuse to just make this kind of as weak as it's been. And as much as I like Mark Briscoe promos, they've just been too long with this build, because you can only say the same thing like so many times, right? Like he's done multiple promos. We've done video packages as well. And at least MJF, because he's the champion and is addressing multiple challengers and multiple people, when he's cutting off like Andrade, he's like, we've heard from everybody now. We don't need to hear anybody else. Like, because he's at least addressing multiple people, like it works for him. But it has not sold me. And when Team Briscoe wins on Sunday, it's like, all right, I guess we're going to get more Mark Briscoe promos, because at least one more, because they're going to have to set up the match. With
I think
everything.
that's probably be Beach Break if they win on.
I just going to do the match immediately. Is Beach Break next week, right?
No, Beach Break
2
is
weeks?
the week after next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because next week is the big survival of the fittest,
right?
The PBS title,
right?
So yeah, I think there's only so much you could say, and they really haven't added anything to the rivalry from where it was at the end of 2025. It just feels like this is kind of stemming off of that and just trying to extend that rivalry from where it had kind of a pretty much kind of even kind of split of it, and closed off on Briscoe getting the win in the tables and tax matchup. Now they're trying to bring it back and use it to facilitate Mark Briscoe being presented as a fringe main eventer or upper mid card or like occasional main event guy. But I don't think they have executed the setup for this very well. I felt like the whole setup for the cage match felt very convoluted. I think there was another way to get across that, where you had the whole establishing of the MJF and Don Callis kind of partnership and him paying him off and everything. It would have made more sense if Max used his money to get Don Callis' family to attack Mark Briscoe instead of randomly throwing Lethal Twist in this story that you've done over the last couple of weeks. Then that would have just gave you more of a thorough line of, he tried to pay off Don Callis' family to take care of Briscoe. Briscoe has backup from the conglomeration. And then you have Briscoe or Tony Schiavone announce that Tony Khan is saying it's going to be 6-on-6. And if Mark Briscoe wins, he gets this whole title match that he's been searching for. But the way they did it was Mark Briscoe has a non-audible conversation with Tony Khan. He has a matchup. He wins the matchup. And then post-match, he's supposed to present this whole thing, but he is just talking and yammering so much, and MJF's giving him a long no that then he's introducing Lethal Twist to attack him because he paid them off, which they easily dispatch of once conglomeration comes off. And then it leads to MJF having to pay off Don Callis' family to join up with him for the cage match. There's simpler ways to get to this whole story that they have already set up, but they had to kind of go through this route of doing it. And I think that's kind of the main flaw or criticism towards the overall build to Forbidden Door. A lot of it feels haphazardly put together, whether it's Kenny's promos with Zack Sabre Jr. or the setup for the cage matchup. None of it felt smooth and like a natural segue from where we ended at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, and then there's the Darby and Takeshita stuff, and I understand why they're in this match, and you're trying to save everything for Redemption, but they also just feel a little shoehorned into it because, okay, MJF is aligned with Don Callis' family. Well, who makes sense to go against them? And Conglomeration is just like, sure, I guess because Mark is there. Like Darby, that's not to say like Darby and Takeshita don't make sense. They do make sense in that. I just don't have like the desire to see this like 12-man cage match. It's like, just give me, because we've already prolonged the Takeshita and Okada and Takeshita, not necessarily the Fletcher stuff, because I realize he just turned at Double or Nothing, but I'm a little bit worried that they've cooled off all of those things. Honestly,
I wouldn't say that with the Takeshita and Fletcher. I think that's still a palatable story. We just saw it a couple of weeks ago. They got one of the loudest responses when they came out during the Ospreay and Mark Davis matchup. So I wouldn't go that far, but I do think that I agree with you with the Darby and Kevin Knight. they just shouldn't be involved in this. And the only reason we're
Darby,
involved in this is because you shoehorned freaking Kevin Knight into the Don Callis family.
Darby felt very background in that promo last night, and then the main event angle and everything. I was like, wasn't this guy just the world champion? And they closed the show with the big turn with Kevin Knight. Yeah. I mean, Kevin Knight and Don Callis family was always just sort of the weird fit anyway, and now it really feels like, well, we needed to put Kevin Knight in the Don Callis family so we could put him in this match, and then we could put Darby in this match.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. Ryan's right. It doesn't make sense.
Speedball's a bitch and just loses, so why is he going to be in this match?
Speedball is basically like conglomeration adjacent. He's the former tag team partner of Kevin Knight. He should be in this match.
I'm with you, but I also think that's why they're having him, like, that's why they just had him lose to Kevin Knight and lose to Jake Doyle. It's like, well, we can't really justify putting Speedball in this when he's just a giant loser.
You don't really want him. You don't really want him anyway. We should get Yo versus Speedball at Forbidden Door.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
Give me an IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Yeah, the build has been a little cold with everything, and I
think they've done a good job with the Owen Cups. I think.
The
women's Owen Cup, especially because it's a final that no one could have guessed was going to be the final at the
literally two people who were not in the tournament when the bracket was announced. You could not have guessed that.
They had two killer semifinals matches, and then on the men's tournament, all the matches have been great. And I thought we talked about it last week. The promo between Ospreay and Swerve was great last week. I thought the post match of Swerve and Danny Garcia last night was really good, with showing that Will sometimes hesitates, and that's his downfall, or he gets distracted by certain things, which was following up from last week with what happened with the words distracting him, and now this week it was Nana distracting him, and Swerve got the break on him. And then we showed the bond between the Death Riders, and Ospreay has kind of expanded, where Garcia saved Ospreay in the post match from the vertebraker and took it himself. So I like that type of storytelling. I think that's been done well. Maya World and Mercedes, I thought the vignette that they showed last night was really effective, simple yet effective. So they've done a good job with those two. With the Owen Hart Cups, they've done a good job there. With the random matches, like the three-way tag team matchup, I'm looking forward to that. I think in a short amount of time, I am looking forward to Bandito and Moxley. It's just the matches that have gotten the longest build or gotten the most hype, Omega ZSJ, and then the cage match, they haven't hit like they are supposed to. But I kind of said the same thing about Double or Nothing. I said Darby and MJF was carrying into that build because I thought they were slacking on Takeshita and Okada. The women's division wasn't in a good state. It's in a much better state going into this show than it was going into the last show. And then the Owen Hart Cup stuff, that's when I was kind of indifferent about the whole Ospreay Death Rider story. I'm still kind of indifferent about that, but I think that despite my feelings about the build, they could still deliver a great show like they did with Double or Nothing. One of the best pay-per-views they've ever done.
I fully expect the show to be great. Like, the wrestling is rarely ever bad on the AEW shows, and it's going to be tough for this one to miss. I expect the 12-man tag. It's a cage match. It'll be chaotic.
Oh, it's going to be killer.
Yeah, some people will do some dumb shit, and we'll all love it. Moxley and Bandito will be great. Obviously, Swerve and Ospreay will be great. I expect Mercedes and Maya to be great as well. Oh, I'm not worried about the pay-per-view itself. And Kenny and Zach will be great as well. It is just kind of to your point. Like, yeah, the Owen stuff has really delivered because you've just basically been doing wrestling matches, at least on the women's side, because they just got to the finals like last week. But even in the short period of Mercedes and Maya, because of the story you've told throughout the tournament, wild card, late replacement, and then everything that went down on Collision in the video package, like you've kind of done a good job of conveying that story in a short period of time, with Maya being the underdog, Mercedes returning and looking to defend the title that she kind of hasn't lost, the one title that she hasn't lost, and to go for the title that she hasn't won. And then Swerve and Ospreay, I mean, we talked about it last week, that promo segment between them was completely killer. That's another reason why I didn't love these matches this week. One, they were too long. Two, like, you had to follow that promo segment from last week, and that was always going to be tough to follow that promo from last week. I don't need the Will Ospreay's hesitant. Does Danielson need to talk to him again? Like, hey, go out and drop this dude on his head. It's cool. You're good. We saw that.
You gotta stop thinking about what you did to me.
Yeah. Like, we don't need that. But the main event, the presumed main event, is the cage match. That's been a little weak. And then the kind of the true Forbidden Door match, Zach and Kenny, that's been a little weak. So I think that's where the build looks a little bit weaker compared to, Double or Nothing may have had a weak build up and down the card, but the main event was, that was some of the best build they have done, the Darby and MJ thing. So that carried everything else. Your main event stuff has been weaker, and your pay-per-view name stuff has been weak. That goes completely carried that, but
the fact that we see Tekla every week, I feel heard. Thank you, AEW. Every time I see Tekla, I'm just so proud of myself. I'm like, I'm so glad that I put out that Gooner tweet. That Gooner tweet changed everything for the women's division.
Yeah, you like women's wrestling, so you're a Gooner.
Get 2 matches on the show and 2 promo videos. Oh, come on, we cooking. We are much better. Just always remember, guys, in pro wrestling, complaining works.
Yeah, you like women's wrestling, so you are a Gooner. That's still one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It is. It's still hilarious.
And our poll question that day for, are you a Gooner or are you a sexist? Because if you like women's wrestling, you're a Gooner, and if you hate women's wrestling, you're a sexist.
Either way, you're screwed.
Yeah. A couple of super chats here from Bob. Dynamite was a match blaster show. People probably to fight people to change the channel over from the World Cup. I don't even know what games were on last night from the World Cup, so I don't know if they were good or not. I know US plays tonight at 10 though, so I don't think we're going to get AJ Francis tweeting about how TNA is the most unstoppable promotion in the world.
Hey, they did good rating.
They did
good rating.
No, they really did, but they're going up against a USA World Cup game.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, which this one's probably the most meaningless World Cup game, because they're already 2-0 and they've already, I'm pretty sure, secured the top spot in the group. So it's not a super meaningful game for them, but they still want to improve their standing. And TVSI better pony up for Jack Perry. We need the true leader of House of Torture back.
Oh, we need Jack Perry versus Ren Narita at Forbidden Door. Who's the real leader of House of Torture now that Evil has gone Noraku? So yeah, I thought Aminata versus Red Velvet, so much better by the time it ended. At first I was just like, I'm not sure about this one. Then that got 10 minutes and I was like, oh, this was actually a good matchup. Aminata, man,
that also could have gotten more time.
She is one of those people that I really don't think realizes that wrestling is a work.
Yeah, that's why she rules. That's why I love Queen Aminata. She's like, I'm just going to go here and beat the shit out of you. And whatever you do about it, okay, good luck.
Yeah. I love the little storytelling that they added with their friendship, with freaking Red telling her, I'm sorry, I have to do this to you. And then Aminata said, no, fuck that bitch. Pow! Headbutt right to the chin.
It is a shame she got hurt when she did, because it looked like she was on such momentum build with the Thekla feud and everything. She was going to be part of Blood and Guts. And then she came back and did the match against Willow, and this is her first match back since then, right? I know she's been on ROH, but this was her first AEW match since then. Yeah, and the Willow return was what, 2 months ago?
I want to say like
month and a half?
maybe April. Yeah. April.
Yeah, so at least 2 months ago. Oh yeah, like I'm glad she's in this. She won the match, and she's in ROH. Talent has to lose on AEW television, which is always a hilarious bit, even if they're champions. So I'm glad she won the match, and she's going to be in the survival of the fittest. Like I hope she has a really good showing and can kind of get back to where she was before the injury, which it looked like she was going to kind of be a featured player on AEW TV before the injury. So I hope that's the case, because yeah, that's what I love about Queen Aminata. Is she does not give a fuck out there. She's just gonna hit you and want you to do something about it.
Off with her head. That is such a great name for a finisher as well. Red Velvet was really good. She's been really good when she's getting the opportunities on the main roster of AEW. The match with Willow was pretty decent. I was worried that Willow getting injured would lead to her not being used again for a while, but they used her here and she had a good showing. So good matchup there. Harley and Marina, not as good, but I was very surprised that Harley got the win, even though I should have known when she came out in Supergirl outfit. I was like, she's wearing a Supergirl outfit. We have advertisements all over ringside. Okay, she's winning.
Marina doesn't win.
Marina usually does win. It was the breaking point was Marina versus Mina. When Mina beat Marina, I was like, oh, it's over. This push is over. Oh, shit.
Marina when was the last Marina win on AEW? Like singles? She
beat Toni Storm by DQ.
Counting that.
No, I think Tony beat her by DQ, actually.
Yeah, Tony beat her by DQ. Her last one was January against Zeta Steel on Collision. I'm not counting mixed tag stuff, which she didn't even win those outside of the street fight.
She won the street fight. Sorry.
I don't know why people thought Marina was going to win this. Like they like because Marina.
She doesn't beat the stars. Like she didn't beat Toni Storm, but she usually beat.
She didn't beat Mina Shirakawa.
She used to. Before that matchup, she used to beat the Mina Shirakawas of the world, the Harley Camerons of the world. Now she's losing to everybody.
She didn't even beat Alex Windsor when they weren't really doing anything with Windsor at that time. Like that match felt very thrown together of, oh yeah, we're gonna do.
I totally forgot that one from the previous.
Yeah, she didn't even win that one. So they like Marina as the little heater for the Death Riders, and she serves her purpose there. But like, they don't actually have intentions of getting behind her as any type of like singles person. At least Harley, she loses a fair amount, but you see the vision with Harley. Of like,
it made sense because of Chris Statlander being in the matchup and Hikaru Shida, two people she has history with, for Harley to be in that match.
Yeah, there's a vision with Harley. Marina's someone who is just like, all right, well, it kind of kills her aura when it's like, look at this badass woman. It's like, okay, sure, just go send out Harley Cameron and we'll just beat her. Like.
We'll just beat her brains in. It's very easy. Yeah, they're messing with her aura. Or I think it was easier to maintain her aura when she didn't wrestle in the women's division.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like if she was just at ringside, like tossing dudes and stuff, like I'd be cool with that. But yeah, like losing to Mina and Harley, who lose to everybody else, is like, wait, why is Shane Taylor afraid of Marina Shafir? Like, I know why. Like, she's a legit MMA fighter with a legit background and everything. But again, I'm watching her lose to Harley Cameron and Mina Shirakawa. It's tough to suspend a little disbelief of like, yeah, Shane Taylor's super afraid of this woman. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think Marina honestly like should be wrestling outside of like mixed tag matches and stuff. And even then, like, don't have her take a pinfall. That's what Yuta's there for, right?
Exactly. Yuta and Garcia take all the pinfalls from the Death Riders.
Yeah. All right. Anything else from Dynamite? See, we covered that well. I know I say I don't want to talk about wrestling and everything, but then I talk about wrestling, you know?
He said, and then eventually I talk about it. Oh, we didn't mention the dogs and coping cage brawling. Little teaser.
Yeah, where was security on this?
The security didn't care. The dogs would come out on Twitter. They were just making them look like bums. For the Cage and Cope get axed by the Young Bucks. You got this? He was like, yeah, we got this. We got this. I was like, oh my God, what are we doing? And then they sprayed it in their eyes. They started choking them. And then they did the pose on top of them. I think the dogs, despite it kind of being I wouldn't say like the simplest booked feud. It was the beat down and the 5-second pose above their body, and then Cope and Cage were out for a number of weeks, but the dogs were able to get victories in that time away. They got the big victory over the Young Bucks and the angle last week to set up the matchup at Forbidden Door. I think before the matchup goes down on Sunday, I think we can say that the dogs have gotten something out of this feud, and they feel like a full-fledged tag team and a threat to the titles, despite me not having any type of threat that they're going to win the titles on Sunday. They now feel like a team that could win the tag team titles somewhere down the line.
And then they're going to lose to the Bang Bang Gang on Collision.
No, they're going to lose to the spading and neutering whatever Juice Robinson put his money in.
They should, this is very WWE pilled, they should like legitimately cut their balls off.
Wow. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Go full bore with it. Just they
can't even finish his thought.
Well, I have a lot of thoughts, and that's the problem. That's the issue here. Because I was thinking of, like, they should do the Yamaguchi-san segment where, you know, the lights go out, choppy pee-pee.
Pee-pee.
Yeah. But then I also thought of, like, what if they get, like, a dog who actually, like, does need to be spayed and neutered, and, like, they do, like, actually do this segment with an actual dog. It's for a good cause.
I don't think that's how they do it. They don't do it the same way. So.
Well, whatever. They should go to like Bob Barker's grave and like, you know, have a chat with Bob. Like we are trying to.
Do you think of these things before you say them?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm the epitome of that Michael Scott quote. I love that quote from him of like, sometimes I just start a sentence and I don't know where it's going and I just hope to pick it up along the way. I love that quote. I'm like, yeah, relatable.
Start a sentence, I don't even know how this is.
Yeah, that's legitimately one of my favorite quotes ever. It's like, sometimes I just start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going, but I just keep talking and I just hope to pick it up along the way. I was like, yeah, hell yeah, Michael Scott.
He's like, hell yeah, he's speaking to my soul right
He
now.
really does. He really, really does. Come on now. They go to Bob Barker's grave and they're like, Bob, we're trying to carry on your legacy. And then Austin and Colton are in the background like playing Plinko or something, you know? Come on now, Plinko. You know what Plinko is.
Am I supposed to know what that is?
Chat.
Plinko? What's Plinko?
Y'all can give me shit for my terrible booking ideas. Fair. We are not going to let SP3 slide for not knowing what Plinko is. Did you never watch The Price is Right?
Well, no, I watched a little bit of The Price is Right. Is that a game on The Price is Right?
Yeah, it's like the most famous game on The Price is Right.
Cool.
Showing my age. What? SP3 and I are the same age.
Showing your age. No, I'm much younger than you. I have to be.
What?
I have to be.
How about, what do you mean I'm on an island? Everyone knows what Plinko is. Everyone in the chat is talking about Plinko.
To be fair, Louis is right. Louis is actually right. That's why
fair.
I didn't retain it like that, where I'm like, Plinko, oh my god.
Everyone knows what Plinko is. Everyone. Yeah, the yodeling game was great. Yeah, that one was good. SP3,
I was homesick. I wasn't homesick watching The Price is Right. I was homesick watching ESPN, and I was watching cartoons.
Yeah, but like people still watch The Price is Right.
I was watching Maury and Jerry Springer.
This shouldn't preclude you from also watching Price is Right. Were you watching Let's Make a Deal because Wayne Brady was hosting?
Not really.
Okay. I didn't really watch Let's Make a Deal. How do you not know? Micah, come on, man. Come on, man.
Sorry to tell y'all, I didn't retain it. I've seen Price is Right plenty of times.
Can't believe you don't know Plinko.
Well, I do now.
Golf game was a good one. Yeah, golf game was good. The $1 game always stressed me out. Like you had like $7 because it was based on The Rock, so they gave you like $7 and you had to like give the price.
It's based on The Rock.
And you had to like give the price of the car. So you had to like name the number, but if you were, $2 off, so you had to give $2 back, and then if you're $3, you had to give $3 back. So if you were left with $1 though, you could buy the car. That one always stressed me out. I was like, oh, that one was tough. There was some tough ones on that game, on that show. They got a Price is Right channel on Roku. I put that shit on. That's what's up. Punch Out game, yeah, Punch a Bunch. I forgot the actual name of it, but Punch a Bunch, okay, yeah. Put on Price is Right channel on the Roku. It's better than the TNA channel. I'll tell you that much.
Well, that's not saying much, but sure.
There was a dice game. Yeah, there was a dice game.
I could play a dice game.
I was watching
this when they play on Price is Right.
It's kind of similar. Honestly. I was watching this one episode, and Bob was getting so pissed at the fucking contestants because he's like, the lowest bid is $500, and the contestant is bidding like $499. And they're like, "Are you stupid? Like, why? You're giving yourself a $1 buffer there." It gets so mad at some of these contestants. It's hilarious. Plinko SP3. Plinko.
Okay, got it, sir. Okay, you got me.
Anything else from Dynamite?
I think that is everything from Dynamite. We talked about Will tripping. We talked about the backstage segments. Yeah, that's everything. Let's talk about. You gotta know that everything was meant to be in life, because usually the reason why we stopped doing the C-suite, or part of the reason, is because I've been in the UK, and the Evolve doesn't show up on the YouTube screen until like 10 minutes before this show starts. So I can't watch Evolve and enjoy it, take my notes, and be prepared to give y'all the C-suite how y'all want. But today is a different day because I'm in America. And I put on my Tubi. I flipped over on the VPN, put on the United States. I flipped on the Tubi, and I put on Evolve. And Succession 3 was last night, where we saw an American hero, an American revolutionary, an American savant, an American goddess named the American Cream, Busty Rose, Thick Flair. You can look, but you can't touch, cause she's Thicky Bella, the Ultimo Wagon, Thicky the Wagon Creamboat. Oh my god. Oh my god. It happened, y'all. She won championship gold in the best match on the damn show last night. It was the one and only JBBL who got picked up the victory. Thick Cheney dropping that thing on him, dropping them yams on him, using her crystal of manifestation on the head. Ploppa! On Wendy Chu, knocking her straight out, then hitting the time adventure, twisting fin kick, and Nikkita Multimedia, the divine feline, Nikkita, Big Cat Kita, Nikkita Lyons is your new and the greatest WWE Evolved Women's Champion of all time. Big Cat. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. We did it, y'all. We made it to the promised land. Nikkita Lyons, new champion.
Ultimo Wagon is wild. Thank you, Micah. I like the spin kick that she did to win the title. That looked like it ruled. She did the dumbass play of the day move. That move sucks so much.
The overdrive, yes.
Yeah.
The overdrive.
It'll always be the play of the day. Shout out to Elix Skipper. That move sucks so bad. Why wouldn't she just drop her ass on Wendy Chu? That's going to hurt way more than just spinning her down.
I want her to do that finisher. Don't drop that dum-dum. Don't drop that dum-dum. I love when she hits that.
She should be using the whoopee cushion, just coming off the top rope with the ass sit down.
Yeah. Use Aaron Rurick, do the Molly go round, but she can't.
I don't know how that would work. She's got bad knees.
I'm so happy for her. She's worked so hard. She's gone against the fans who are cruel to her, and she fought over it all with the help of the real fans like me, who's always been in support of Nikkita Multimedia. I'm so happy for her.
I popped so much when I saw she won the title. I was so excited. This doesn't make a difference at all as far as Evolve, like whatever. But the fact that we can pay off this bit with a championship win for her is amazing. Flat Earthquake.
Flat Earthquake is the best one I've seen so far.
Flat Earthquake.
Flat Earthquake is wild.
Amazing.
So happy. It happened, y'all. It happened. We thought it would never happen, but it did. Well deserving. She has improved so much. She's been doing her damn thing on Evolve as well. I mean, on LFG as well. I've been keeping up with LFG. I'm like 2 episodes behind, but I'm gonna catch up on that. But yeah, the C-suite alumni has taken over NXT, has taken over Evolve, taking over LFG, taking over the entire WWE. C-suite, y'all. We did it. Aaron Rurick beat Max Abrams on the show as well. Kale Dixon made his debut. he got a win because of some new blonde chick. Another new blonde chick is Vanta, the Unknown, who had this really cool, interesting, but weird video package.
The unknown will get you. You must fear the unknown.
The unknown is all around you. I'm already here. I'm already here. This is interesting. And Zena Sterling and Kelly Armstrong and Kendall Gray were watching the opening with Nikkita Lyons winning the big one.
They all watched and was like, damn, if only we could be half as good as Nikkita Lyons.
I think that's what everybody watching Evolve says. Like, I wish I could be half as good as Nikkita Multimedia. Big Cat Kita. Divine Feline.
Oh. Do you have matches of the week?
I do. Nikkita Lyons versus
Hell
Nikkita Lyons.
Good. That's who should be at the top of the list. Good.
Nikkita Lyons versus Lash Legend. Nikkita Lyons versus Wendy Chu. Nikkita Lyons in the Gauntlet matchup. Nikkita Lyons versus Zarya. Nikkita Lyons versus Lizzie Rain. All right. Matches of the week for this week. I have 10 because it was a busy week. Honorable mentions, though, to The Elite versus Lethal Twist. Ray Phoenix versus Laredo Kid versus Lince Dorado from AAA, and Zack Sabre Jr. versus Adam Priest from Collision. 10, I got Swerve versus Garcia from last night's Dynamite. Then we got the matchup that preceded that, Ospreay versus ELP. It was kind of like a sprint version of their G1 climax from G1 climax matchup from 2022. I thought that they worked so well together in the matchup last night. Then number 8, I got Shuri versus Rina Yamashita from Stardom The Conversion. Been loving Rina Yamashita in Stardom because I really became a fan of her from her GCW, seeing her in death matches. So it's been really cool to kind of see her use her wild brawling style against the Stardom wrestlers, and her and Shuri had a barn burner on that Conversion show. Then number 7, got El Sky Team and Templario versus Unbound Co. from the Fantastica Mania last Friday. I'm still catching up on that show. I did hear good things about El Fantasmo versus Barbaro Carbinario, so I'm going to watch that as well. But El Sky Team and Templario versus Unbound Co. I watched that earlier today. Just a super awesome trios matchup, and the crowd in Arena Mexico ate it all up. Number 6, I'll go with the Death Riders versus Mystico and Brodito from last night's Dynamite. Then number 5, let's go with Maya World versus Athena from Collision last Saturday. Excellent matchup. Just brilliant storytelling of student versus teacher, but the student having a little bit more motivation, being a little bit more inspired by, the passing of her brother, putting her over the edge, and finally beating Athena after showing that she's had her number over the last couple of months. Great storytelling and one of the better matches from the year so far as far as the women's scene. Speaking of that, number 4, we got Shuri versus Athena from ROH Global Wars Cincinnati. She's been amazing the last couple of months, especially. Like, she's always been one of the best women's wrestlers in the world, but her ability to have different type of matches depending on the opponent, where you have this student versus teacher matchup with Maya World. This one is more, she's facing one of the best in the world, so she has to use her versatility to combat Shuri, who's one of the best submission workers and strikers in wrestling, and it was just a great blend of their two styles in the matchup. Number 3, Zack Sabre Jr. and Jack Perry from Dynamite last night. Technical Wrestling Clinic. Can't say much more than that. Number 2, Suzu Suzuki versus Sayaka Karara from Stardom The Conversion. Suzu Suzuki, one of my favorites from Stardom, is finally the world champion, and she showed why she is like one of the most complete total packages in all of Stardom. She can wrestle any type of way. She could do the hardcore death matches. She could do some high flying. She could brawl all over the place, have a technical wrestling matchup, and she got to show all of those sides of herself in this matchup and winning the World of Stardom Championship. And number one this week, Konosuke Takeshita and Ricochet from last night's Dynamite. Bonafide, one of the best Dynamite matches of the year so far. And Takeshita has been on a heater since the Darby matchup in May. He's got the Darby match in May, the Okada match at Double or Nothing. Him and Danny Garcia had a banger on Collision, and then he delivers another banger here with Ricochet. So hats off to Takeshita and Ricochet. Ricochet was wrestling like a man possessed last night.
Can't believe you didn't show any love to predict what match I'm going to say.
That I did say JC Jane. No, I'm sorry. That's on the show that I wasn't supposed to watch. That's happened on Friday. The Michin and B-Fab versus Tiffany Stratton. No, that's also on that show on Friday. What were you gonna say?
Damian Priest and R-Truth against Solo and the Sikoas.
Yeah, that was not good.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough one.
Wasn't good at all.
Went with a men's tag team match this time, not a women's tag team match.
I like that. That was very well done.
The only women's tag team match that I can think of was the Bella Page against Lyra and Bailey, and that
wasn't bad.
Yeah, that wasn't the worst match that I've ever seen. So, wasn't as bad as the typical standard we've seen from that division. So, yeah. All right, SP3. Anything else you can talk about?
No, I think that's all for me today. I'll be back tomorrow, so whatever we missed, we can talk about it then.
Do you wanna get a game of 82-0 in since we didn't get to do it yesterday?
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
All right. Are we searching for 82-0? Is that what we're going for here?
What we should always try to go for 82-0 until we hit it.
Okay, that's fair. Well, on the 24-hour stream, I will be going for 41-41. I feel like that's more difficult.
Let's try to hit 82-0 before that, then.
All right, that's fair. Okay.
The Hornets gave Kobe White $74 million. God damn.
I mean, that's like half of what LaMelo was making. So.
Also true.
I'm not fully mad at that. All right. Hoop IQ. Okay, here we go. Miami in the 80s.
Oof.
They have like 5 players. They were a new team.
Oof. Spin the era.
Era? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a tough one. 10s. LeBron. Yeah. What position?
Small forward. We don't have any real choices now. We could just switch them if anything.
That's true. Okay. Charlotte in the 2000s.
Al Jefferson, or we spin the team.
We're gonna spin out again.
Spin the team.
Use both of our spins. This our respins this early. Emeka Okafor.
Like, who we picking in the 2000s?
Yeah,
from the
2000 Hornets is kind of rough. Raymond Felton, he was nice. I mean, Gerald Henderson.
Chris Paul was on the other team, right? So no.
Yeah, Chris Paul wasn't here.
Yeah,
was Baron Davis washed by 2000s Hornets?
No, he was pretty good for the 2000 Hornets. He's not a 20-point scorer though.
Let's
spin the team.
All right, we'll spin the team. Orlando Dwight?
Tracy.
Oh, yeah, good call. Okay, shooting guard.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're back to Miami in the 80s.
They just really hate us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our choices are like nothing here. Like Ronnie Sakali,
Yeah.
Scott Hastings.
Scott Hastings.
I feel like Scott Hastings kind of sucked though.
Then don't pick him.
I don't really know who was good out of this. I don't know if like Grant Long. Like those are like the only three names that I've like kind of heard of.
I guess Grant Long.
All right, we'll go with Grant Long. I don't feel great about that.
Yeah, I think that's.
But
that
I don't
doomed us. No,
I don't think we're
82-0
gonna
for us.
Yeah, we're screwed on that. Minnesota in the 10s.
Karl Anthony Towns.
We get him at center. I would think. Yeah, Towns. I still think Kevin Love. Love put up numbers.
I think they're very similar.
All right, we'll go Towns.
And can Love play center?
Yeah, Kevin Love play center.
He can? Oh,
Yeah.
You can pick Kevin Love.
All right. I mean, we're not getting 82-0 because the 80s Heat fucked
Yeah,
us
exactly.
anyway, so
Exactly.
I do want to see Kevin Love's numbers, like legitimately,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's an easy double and then some with the assist. Oh, OKC in the 80s,
Payton.
Gary Payton, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if we didn't have 80s Heat,
We could have cooked.
yeah, this team is
63 and
nice.
90.
What the fuck is this?
You get a free gift. You've been playing so long.
No. Gary Payton, McGrady, LeBron, and Grant Long kind of. Kevin Love 21 and 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grant Long 11 and 6. Like
Yeah,
I just don't know who was going to be
There was
better
nothing
there.
we can do. Yeah, there was nothing we could do there.
I don't know who's going to be better there. Friggin' Heat in the 80s. Bullshit.
Twice. How we get
Yeah,
beat in the
twice.
80s twice?
All right, you want to do one more?
Yeah.
You got time? Okay.
Heat in the 80s twice.
Utah in the 90s. Malone.
Nasty, man.
Yeah.
Sadly, that is.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're trying to win the game here, not stay out of jail. Boston Russell?
In the 60s, yeah, Russell.
Yeah. All right, this is looking kind of nice. This is a good start.
Nasty man and the best defensive player ever.
Utah in the 20s. Oof.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, okay. All right, he had numbers.
2 guard.
Yeah. All right, we still got our respins too. Okay. I'm not mad at this team. Detroit in the 2000s. They didn't have people that had numbers. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like they had good players, but
Yeah.
like Chauncey's kind of
Grant Hill.
Stackhouse.
You want to spin? You want to respin?
Yeah, you want to respin the team?
Yeah.
Okay. Portland in the
Portland.
2000s.
God damn. That's not it. That's basically the same team, but in the West. And we can't move any of our big men to get Rasheed Wallace. You want to spin the era?
Yeah, let's spin the era. Fuck it.
Or do Raheem?
I'll spin the
Small
era.
forward? Okay.
I'll spin the era. I gotta try to get Dano 70s. Oh, we can't get Bill Walton. Damn it.
Damn. Can't get Bill Walton.
Yeah, I don't know what their guard situation is. I know Johnny Davis.
All
Lenny
right,
Wilkins.
We're not getting 82-0 on this one either.
Lenny Wilkins, Johnny Davis. We'll go Johnny Davis. I don't love it, but I don't really have an
I'm
option
at 2
here.
guard.
Oh, I put him a point. Sorry,
Oh,
I forgot. Oh, hold on.
so regardless, it don't matter.
Hold on. One of my kids is messaging me. Don't they know I'm trying to do a show?
San Antonio. So we gotta pick what, like Brett Barry? Don't matter.
Oh, yeah.
We're not getting 82-0. So
We can't move.
no, we can't.
Oh man. Yeah, we can't move.
Brent Berry, welcome to the team. Michael Finley, welcome to
Robert
the team.
Horry. Robert Horry kind of put up some numbers.
Michael Finley, I think, got more numbers
Okay.
than Robert,
All right.
Robert Horry.
That team ended up sucking after our good start.
Johnny Davis.
Is it Michael Finley? Yeah, Michael Finley didn't do shit though. He had 9 points as well.
Yeah. But it was already done after we got Johnny Davis. It was over.
Yeah. All right.
All right, one last time.
One more. Okay.
This is the one. This is the one, y'all.
All right. Cleveland in the 2000s.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
LeBron James.
All right. Good start.
LeBron James. All right, this is the one. This is the one, y'all. This is the one. All right,
Phoenix and the Booker.
Or Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah, KD. He
Yeah, I'd
only
say
one
KD.
season. Okay.
Yeah, because that is just
it was a good season,
an
though.
average.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right. All right, KD power forward. Yeah. All right, good start.
All right, this is the one. All right,
in the
Orlando
10s.
2010s with
Dwight. Yeah. Oops. Let's go down way too far. Okay. All right.
All right, we cooking now.
Do we move KD to shooting guard and put Dwight at power forward, or do we keep our guard spots open?
Yeah, I mean, we could do that. We could put LeBron at point.
Okay, do we move LeBron to a guard spot, move KD to small forward, and put Dwight at power forward?
Power forward, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So
LeBron at point.
Yep, LeBron
KD
at point.
is small. Dwight at power
forward.
All right.
There we go.
All right, I'm not mad at this.
So now we got the two most important open. Let's do it. This is it.
Utah on the 7th. We got to respin this, right?
Spin the team first.
Oh, Pete Maravich.
And Pete Maravich is not that bad at the 2 guard. I don't know if you wanna risk it.
Wait, do we spend the team? Do we spend the team or the era?
I was gonna say team to see if we can get Wilt. But
Okay.
It's not the 60s, it's the 70s. So 60s is where
Kareem?
is ridiculous numbers.
Kareem though, 70s.
Yeah, you could land on that, but I mean, what's the odds of us getting a Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant? You might as well get Pete Maravich.
You wanna go Maravich?
I don't know. It's up to you. Spin the team or go with Maravich.
Let's. Hold on. Kids keep.
This is the one. This is the one, y'all.
I assume Maravich had numbers, right? Like he had to have.
He
numbers.
did. Yeah, he did.
All right, let's go Maravich, and
All
then
right.
we'll have both of our spins for
For the last
spot. Yeah.
See, he's thinking strategically.
All right.
Thinking one pick ahead. San Antonio in the
Spurs
80s.
in
Let's
the
spin
80s.
the era.
Spin the era.
Spin the era. Maybe we get 2000s and we can go with Timmy D.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That will at least get us to 72. 72 wins.
Yeah.
90s.
Robinson.
David Robinson.
Yeah, David Robinson. Okay. All right. I don't know if it's gonna be enough, but
think
I'm not mad at
72.
this team. Oh,
75 and 7.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna leave it there. We're on the right path. We're on the right path for tomorrow. We're on the right path.
All right. I didn't think it was gonna quite be enough, but this is a nice team. Everybody's over 20 points per game.
This is probably our best team that we've put together.
I feel like we had a 78 win team, did we not?
You're probably right.
Yeah, I feel like 78 is our best so far. I don't remember what that team was, but I feel like that was our best team. We had a 78 at one point. Okay. All right, we'll try again tomorrow. Okay, I did that one. All right. Let everybody know where they can find you at SP3.
Find me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSB3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, True Hill Heat. I'll be on the YouTube channel, True Hill Heat Wrestling, at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with Jimmy Macaram for AE Ramble, reviewing last night's AEW Dynamite. As you've heard here, I thought it was a very good show, which means that Jimmy hated it. So I'm sure he's gonna
make fun of
complain.
Ospreay so much for
Yeah,
falling.
he's gonna be like, this dweeb, he shouldn't even win at Wembley. He should lose. He should win the title and hand it over to Jon Moxley since he's handed over everything else. Yeah, I'm giving y'all a preview on what you're going to hear. And, of course, I'll be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow I also got a Forbidden Door preview. We got the True Hill Heat flagship podcast on Saturday. Got reviews for Night of Champions and Forbidden Door coming up over the weekend. So I'm a busy, busy man, but always enjoy my time with you on Thursdays, Jeremy.
I appreciate you, SP3.
And what was my moment of Wednesday?
Oh, yeah,
My
that's
moment
my bad.
of Wednesday was Will Ospreay tripping over a bucket.
My moment of Wednesday was Orange Cassidy's. It's fine. It's fine.
It's
Just because the moment I heard that, I was like, I gotta clip that. I gotta use that as a clip for the show. I have to. It was so perfect. The delivery was so good. What did we accomplish today, SP3?
We accomplished a lot. We had a great conversation with Adam from Produce, hearing about that big show coming up on Monday. We talked all about the NBA draft and the LaMelo Ball trade and AEW Dynamite. You got it all. You got it all here. And we talked about Big Cat Kita winning the Evolve Women's Championship.
And the biggest thing we accomplished today is that the C-suite has officially undergone the biggest renovation it could possibly undergo, and it is now the BBL suite, thanks to Nikkita Lyons.
Let's go. Let's go. We did it. We did it, y'all.
No spotlights tonight. I have family stuff to attend to, so Jensen and I will be back next week. Tomorrow will be SP3 and I. We will not talk about TNA because I refuse, and Joel is not here to force me to talk about TNA. We will preview the weekend, and we will air my interview with Scarlett Bordeaux of MLW and, everything from around the world. So we'll air that interview tomorrow, and and talk about a big weekend ahead. Appreciate Adam Orange Crush from Produce Wrestling joining us today. Big shout out to him. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us for the last 2.5 hours. Hope everyone has a good day. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.